It is good to have you join us. It's Dateline 360, and I am Omotola Omojola. In the last couple of weeks, reports of flooding in different parts of the country, as predicted, flooded our airwaves, but the impact has been more severe in the northeastern parts of the country, requiring both local and international interventions. We will be moving around parts of that region to interrogate factors responsible for the floods, how it is affecting the communities, and responses to alleviate impact. We start from Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, where torrential rainfall and concerns over dam management have been cited as key factors for the flood being experienced. Fatima Issa reports that it is unprecedented and noted as the most devastating flood in the recorded history of the metropolis.
The flood have caused widespread destruction, leaving thousands homeless and igniting a humanitarian crisis. SEMA DG says over 20,000 people have been rescued so far, while many more remain missing as authorities are working tirelessly to locate the unaccounted for and provide survivors with essential care, including medical attention and shelter.
We are focusing on rescuing those that are living, not focusing on counting the number of deaths or whatsoever, but actually we have had information, we've gotten some data that some people are dead and some people are yet to come back to their community or to be reintegrated with their family.
Medical services within the camps have been reinforced, with particular focus on ensuring clean water and sanitation to mitigate the spread of diseases and environmental hazards.
There is big problem on waterborne diseases where, they will have diarrheal diseases such as even cholera. So far, we haven't had confirmed cases of cholera, but we have opened up a hospital in Bolori, which is to address the issue of cholera in children. But for the adults, any cases of cholera, they will go to our infectious diseases hospital.
The flood have also dealt a devastating blow to the region's economy, with farmers among the hardest hits. Submerged farmland have resulted in significant crop losses, heightening fears of long-term food insecurity. Criticism is mounting over the handling of the dam, with some suggesting the disaster could have been prevented if early warning signs have been addressed.
Dams are the exclusive preserve of the federal government. So the federal government is the one in charge of not only Alo Dam, but all dams, management, construction of all dams and their management is the primary responsibility of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. So the silting and other aspects of management of dams across the nation squarely rests with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources.
Concerns have also been raised over the management of the Ecological Fund, which critics urge should have been allocated to improve flood control systems.
Engineering failure in the sense that there is excess water that flowed into the Alo Dam. And so the dam was overwhelmed, and this led to a collapse of a section of the dam. And this only means that large quantities of water that have been impounded will now find its way into Maiduguri. And exactly this is what happened.
Despite the challenges, both local and international humanitarian organizations have ramped up relief efforts. Agencies are working around the clock to deliver essential supplies, including food, clothing, and shelter.
We are here at Mbakasi camp. At the moment, we are trying to deliver over 600 kits of wash items. We are helping them to improve their water storage, their sanitation facilities, and at least give them a bit of dignity in the circumstances where they are currently working.
The federal government and international organizations have also provided financial and logistical support to aid recovery efforts. In Maiduguri, Fatima Issa.
The story is not different in nearby Yobe State, set to be grappling with one of its most devastating flood disasters in recent history, with widespread destruction across multiple sectors. The 2024 flooding has exposed vulnerabilities in the state's critical infrastructure and emergency response system. highlighting the urgent need for coordinated intervention and resource mobilization to restore normalcy. Adam Yusuf Ali reports on the social and economic impact of the flood in the state.
Data from the State Emergency Management Agency indicate that the unprecedented flooding has left 441 communities across every state in disarray, as 20,181 households, totaling 50,631 individuals, have been affected, with families seeing their homes, farmlands, and public facilities severely damaged. The disaster has also claimed 34 lives, with 386 individuals sustaining various degrees of injuries, further underscoring the humanitarian crisis.
This is gamut of everything. It's not only the road, the environmental issue here, there's water issue here, and so agriculture issue here. So partner with all the agencies that are involved to see that a permanent solution is provided, so that future occurrence will be minimized. You know, like we're talking about this climate change for a long time, but some of us didn't take it serious. But it's the reality. And, you know, when this road, because nobody expected that this kind of thing will happen at that time. But see, it has happened, and we can't say that it will not happen again, but let's take a preventive measures to minimize the consequences in the future.
We are hoping those with their engineers may have what to do in collaboration with the military to have an access bridge for the northern part of the state.
The ravaging flood led to the collapse of a bridge at Derengada in Jakusko local government area, as this road links Potiskum to northern part of Piobe, comprising Jakusko, Bede, Yusufari, Karaswa, Nguru, and Machin local government areas, with a bridge in Jumbom in Termo local government area also collapsing, disconnecting Gaidam, Yusufari, Bursari from Damaturu, the state capital.
We sit down with the state government, the federal government, and all other agencies that are involved to see what needs to be done now, mid-term, and for long term. But you can see this place definitely need a very drastic approach, either a bridge or whatever, and to ensure that such will not occur again.
There should be a standard bridge here where it may enable the water to pass without cutting off the roads, and it will also avoid the continuous flooding of farmlands and houses in Jumbam and its environment.
Some people who found themselves in such situation want emergency response from authorities concerned to ameliorate their suffering, as accomplishing an easy task becomes difficult in the face of the condition as the roads and the crossing points.
We are having challenges in this road. We are calling on government to reconstruct the bridge for us. We are calling on government to reconstruct the bridge in order to ease our movement. We are calling on government to construct roads for us.
Several factors have contributed to this catastrophic event, as the flooding between April 15th and September 9th, 2024 was driven by heavy rainfall, exacerbated by multiple factors, including defective infrastructure, community attitudinal issues, increased rainfall as a result of climate change, as well as potential discharge from the Dadunkowa Dam, Hadida Jama'ari River, River Komadugu, and the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. In Damaturu, Adam Yusuf Ali.
Adamawa is another state impacted by flooding this year, and it has led to the displacement of several communities. Simon Asher reports that following this development, the state government has created 7 new camps for people affected by the disaster, urging people living in riverine communities to relocate to safer grounds.
The recent flooding in Adamawa State, occasioned by the overflow of the river Benue, has led to the loss of lives, with property worth millions of naira destroyed.
The flood has affected above 26,000 people in Adamawa State. It has affected about 4,356 households, and not considering so many hectares of farmland that it has swept away. That's in summary. For now, up to today, we have about 13 lives that have been lost so far.
So you discovered that the same level that you have ever recorded maybe about 30 years ago the same level you record now, it becomes flood because the river channel is already seated up. So instead of the same water passing through safely in the channel, it now spread because the river is not seated up. The channels cannot contain that water. So mainly that is the result of the flooding we have been receiving.
Aside the loss of lives coupled with the destruction of farmlands, among other property, the people are also displaced with the bridges linking Minchika to Madagali and Madagali to Maiduguri have been destroyed by the flood, thereby affecting the socio-economic development of the areas.
I lost many valuables and I need support from government and people.
The latest rainfall prediction by NIMET that Madagali, Numan, Demsa, Minchika, Shelen, and Yolonet local government area of Adamawa State may possibly experience flood has resulted into prompt action by the state to mitigate the effect of the devastating consequences of the anticipated flood in the state.
The people of Adamawa State and the affected local government should get prepared, most especially from the 16th of September, and go to the safer land whereby their lives and their properties will be saved. The council has approved all the commissioners of that area should relocate back to the various local government and sensitize with the people of that area.
Asking people not to defecate anyhow because feces can also bring about infection. So that we are aware education has been going on for people to boil water and ensure that they drink boiled water when they are not having access to tap water.
It is the hope and expectation of government that those people living in riverine communities will live to safer grounds identified by the government, so as to safeguard their lives and property in order to mitigate the effect of the devastating effect of flood. For Dateline 360, Simon Asha reporting.
Now, 16 out of the 20 local government areas in Bauchi State are reported to be affected by the devastating floods of the past weeks. This, the state's Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs says, has led to the death of 24 people. Muazu Hassan reports on the effect of the flood and measures provided by both state and federal governments.
Northern part of Bauchi State is the most affected zone by the flood disaster. A report by the Bauchi State Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs revealed that over 170 households, in addition to 11,000 hectares of farmland in Sabon Gari village of Katagun local government area and other part of the state were destroyed.
We've sadly taken the normal measures in terms of sensitization, but the 2024 flood has come beyond our imagination. So the state has become very overwhelmed. And then His Excellency the Governor has approved, given us resources so that we'll be equipped. So we both food items, non-food items, and medicals. But yet, as I said earlier, it's still very overwhelming.
Some flood victims were seen presently using temporary shelters located in public schools, while others are living in the temporary camps they provided, but still in need of food and non-food items.
Here we are right inside one of the house of victims of the flood, and in the house there are 5 rooms which were completely washed away by the flood, and right now with the victims of the flood.
Amfani dai gashi kuna gani gidaje ga su babu, gonakinmu kuma babu amfani. Wani wanda yake sama da shekara da rabi zai ci abincinsa ba da abin da zai ci na sati daya. Mu dai muna zaune. Sai dai muna roƙon gwamnati ta taimaka mana.
We need foodstuff. Number 2, we need another place because I don't think we go back to our lake place because of this flooding. And number 3, we need school because of our children.
A total of 12 federal and state roads were cut off in Bauchi State as a result of this year's heavy downpour was that of Kano to Maiduguri, where both the federal and Bauchi state government took a quick action.
Kano to Maiduguri road is very, very important. And when I leave here, we are going to Session 1, Jigawa, between Jigawa and Kano. We are terminating that job because it has been there for 17 years. The president doesn't want that. He wants to complete it quick.
And send a clarion call to the presidency. And he sent not only a director or the controller of works, he sent the minister himself. We are very, very glad and grateful.
The flood affected 16 out of the 20 local government areas of Bauchi State, more than the 11 number of local governments predicted by NAMED.
We are right here at Maluri Guskuri Junction along Kano Maiduguri Road, where the flood cut off the entire road recently. But it is presently, the federal government has since repaired the road for the movements of motorists. Nigerians across the northeast region and beyond are now plying the roads comfortably with going on with their normal day-to-day economic activities. From Guskuli Malori in Katagum local government area of Bauchi State, Muaz Hassan reporting for Dateline 360.
The dynamics of flood devastation in Nigeria occasioned by climate change is gradually overwhelming the mitigation strategies being adopted by intervening agencies across the country. The 2024 climate prediction by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, and the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, indicate a high risk of flood devastation in the country. Correspondent Ilyasu Yakubu examines the effect and mitigation efforts, especially regarding the overwhelming devastation in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital.
From the 2024 Climate Predictions and Flood Outlook released by NIMET and NISA lies the overwhelming threat to lives and property, which indicated a high volume of rainfall above normal. 148 local government areas in 31 states are placed at high risk of flooding, while 249 local government areas in 35 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, are within the moderate probable risk areas. These worrisome indications prompted the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to begin consultation and sensitization of the general public, as well as collaborative meetings for prompt mitigation of the disaster. Notwithstanding, the humanitarian crisis severely affected 31 states so far, with 1,075,485 persons affected and 641,127 persons displaced. 269 deaths were recorded and 2,467 injuries sustained. 126,887 hectares of farmland were washed away, with 97,001 houses destroyed, affecting 180 local government areas. As Nigeria grapples with these severe consequences of flooding across the country, another imminent flooding hit Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, and almost submerged the entire city as a result of overflow of Alao Dam. Available records from the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says hundreds of thousands of people have been affected, with 37 deaths so far. The flooded water took over the entire streets and houses in the affected areas, thereby displacing residents.
I never pray for even my enemy to experience such a thing. For you to leave your home
without any single thing, just with your own personal clothes, it's not something to pray for.
This flooding, we never see that kind of flooding. This is the first time for me to see that flooding.
Director General National Emergency Management Agency NEMA Zubaida Umar, who accompanied Vice President Kashim Shettima on a spot assessment of the devastation, directed immediate deployment of search and rescue equipment and personnel, food and non-food items, as well as water purification machines to prevent outbreaks of epidemics and medicament for the health needs of the victims.
This unfortunate and almost unexpected incident requires coordinated response, hence this meeting again.
Director Search and Rescue of the agency and the NEMA Northeast Coordinator have been on ground to ensure seamless operation to ease the situation.
There are still cases of people trapped. We can't ascertain the figure, but we are sure there are into thousands of people. Our people have been moving into the SSS quarters and the 505 axis through the Abaganaram route. They have been bringing in people.
This effort is being achieved through collaboration with Borno State Emergency Management Agency and international partners. Although the affected areas are still covered with refuse and other particles capable of inducing health challenges, the NEMA team says it will not rest until the entire area is completely safe for habitation as evacuation and rescue mission continues. For Dateline 360, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
With optimism for relief for those affected by the floods and hope that those displaced are able to return to their homes soon, the expectation is that more attention be given to predictions and residents begin to live in the consciousness of the environment and the need to eliminate predisposing factors to flooding. On behalf of all of us at the NTA, thanks for your time. God bless Nigeria.